So this is just a short review of conditional statements. Since it's been a little while since we've done them and you're supposed to do some on your own for your assignment today, I just want to go over some things. You've had all these before in class, but you're working on at home on your own, so just want to let you have this to refer to. So all of your problems, there are going to be 5 problems on the assignment today. They all require you to ask for an input statement. So each one you'll have an input statement, and then you'll have some if statements after it. So for this one, we're just going to go with grade. That's going to be our input statement, and we're asking for like a percentage. Oops, I need quotes. Since we're asking for a number, I'm going to cast it as an int. So we're going to assume they're going to put in, like, if they got 75%, they're going to put in a 75, or if they got 100%, they'll put in 100, that sort of thing. Okay, just for simplicity's sake. All right, so we're going to check to see if grade is greater than or equal to 60. So we're going to check to see if it's a passing grade. So if grade is greater than or equal to 60, then we're going to print you pass. That's it. Remember, when you're using, if you want to do greater than or equal to, you can put the greater than symbol followed immediately by the equal sign, and that means greater than or equal to. Same thing for less than or equal to. That would work. So in this case, we just want to know whether they passed or not. So if the grade is greater than or equal to 60, they passed. Otherwise, they did not. So we'll print, sorry, you did not. Dang it, I'm trying to keep all this on one line. And I failed. Let me make that a little bit smaller, just for my own sanity. Okay. All right, so remember, if you use else, so in this case we have an if-else chain, just did those two. Whenever you use else, nothing follows it, only in colon. So you can't have else and then have a condition after that. You can only have else colon, and then, so meaning this part is not true, okay, so then do this. Okay? So if we have if and else, or anytime you use else, there's nothing that follows the word else other than a colon. All right, so we're gonna do another one that uses equal equal, and people get this confused a lot. You're going to use equal equal anytime you want to see, to check a variable's value. So if grade, let's say we want to check to see if it's 100. So if grade double equals 100, because we don't know what it is, we're checking to see what is that grade. If it's 100, we're going to print perfect score. Okay. If we were assigning the grade, like we were saying, grade equals 95, then you only use one equal sign. If you were assigning it, saying, okay, here's what I want the value of that variable to equal, 95. But that's not what we want in this case. We just want to see what it is. So when you're checking it for any reason, the most common time would be during an if, or in an if statement, you'll use 2 equal signs if you're checking to see what it is. Let's see. Let's say we want to check to see if the person got, for their questions, let's say they had 100 questions. We're going to tell them if they got more than half correct, or less than half correct, fewer than half, I guess. So we're going to do an if, elif, else chain. So we're going to do if grade is greater than 50, and we're just going to print again, over half correct. Elif, we want to check to see if they got exactly 50. So hopefully you realize we will need to use 2 equal signs because we're in an if statement. So if grade is equal to 50, then we're going to print half right. Otherwise, so if it's not over 50 and it's not 50, it has to be less than 50 correct, right? So all we need is else. We don't have to check to see. We know if it's not over 50 and it's not 50, then it has to be less than that. So we're going to print less than half right. Dang it, again. Trying to keep it on one line, not successfully. Let's see here. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so that's an if elif chain, if elif else chain. Remember, again, for else, there's never anything that follows else other than a colon. Okay, so let's see, we have, if we're going to use a string, then we can use dot lower or dot upper with the strings. So let's say we're going to ask the user, and this is a separate input statement. We used the same input statement for those examples. For this one, we'll do a different one. We're going to ask for their mascot. So we're going to ask what the school mascot. What is your school mascot? Now I'm really not keeping it on one line. Okay, so obviously that's going to be a string, so we don't need to cast it because we're not asking for an int here. We're not asking for a number. It's going to be a string. So then we're going to say, okay, if mascot dot, I'm going to do dot upper in this case, and we're checking to see what it is, so we need double equal signs. So if mascot dot upper double equals bulldog. Oh shoot, let's get rid of that capital I. Then we're going to print correct. Maybe I'll say what is our school mascot. Okay, that makes me feel better. Okay, so we're checking to see what the variable is equal to. So we use double equal signs. We use dot upper, so in case they typed it in like a capital letter and lowercase letters that follow it, or if they typed in all lowercase, it would still change whatever they typed in to all uppercase because we added dot upper with the parentheses. If you add dot upper, you have to make sure that whatever you have in your quotes is all uppercase. Conversely, you could do dot lower. If you do dot lower though, you got to make sure that whatever you have in your, not your parentheses, in your quotation marks, sorry, is all lowercase, or else it's not going to match up, okay? So it's going to take whatever they type in, change it to all lowercase, and then it's going to look inside your quotes after your double equals, and if it's all lowercase and it's the same letters, then it's good. If it's all uppercase, if it's dot upper, then this needs to be all uppercase. I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's see. What else was I going to ask you or let you know? I guess that's all. Just make sure whenever you're doing dot upper or dot lower, whichever one you use, put the parentheses after it because it is a method. And when you're working through this, be sure you test all of your cases. So whenever you're typing in your file, write it out, but be sure you copy your code and paste it into main.py in Replit so you can run it. And you should run it and test it for all possible outcomes. So you shouldn't just run it once like, okay, yes, it works. No, you need to test it for each of the different possible outcomes. So if you have an if, an elif, and an else, you should test it at least 3 times. Okay, so if you have any questions as you're working on your assignment, please contact me at kscott@nafcs.org and I will help you out. You can also read your book, and I've got this in your instructions, programarcadegames.com, and it's chapter 3 that we're working in with these if statements. So have a great day, guys.